They couldn't get the pressure on that thing.
Well, no, Jackie. Hey, Jackie, were you just on house protocol, or did you actually get? You got it.
Good morning, everybody. Fed the dogs because they were hungry. They hadn't eaten. Oh. Oh, taking care of my phone. Oh, it's okay. Don't let me give you my cup.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, testing.
How long is it supposed to stay with you, lady?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to see you with a mask on.
Yes, ma'am.
I left my phone home, so I need somebody to try to.
Virginia, that first is really cute, that big face. No, it's oh, Michael. It's cute. I like. I got a mama that likes to keep me next person. Hey, never a bad thing. I got a husband. You're down to that one. A good thing for your mom. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. The Board of Election meeting is now called to order. May we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May I have a motion to approve the agenda unless something needs to be added?
I have a quick statement about tonight's meeting that I would like to add at the appropriate time with the commissioners' meeting.
Where would you like to add it?
It can be at the very end.
Okay.
Thanks.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of adding statement of a statement on tonight's meeting for the Board of Commissioners?
I move that we accept the agenda as presented with the addition of tonight's meeting added statement.
Then properly moved in second that we approve the agenda with the necessary addition. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, this is a call meeting, so,
It's not an emergency meeting, though. It's just a special one.
okay, so, public comments at this time. Do we have anyone that want to speak to public comments?
If you could just turn the mic on, Jenny.
My name is Virginia Wasserberg. I'm the chair of the Pasquotank Republican Party. And I put in the request for our executive committee in the party to tour the facilities of the Board of Elections, and I did update Emma on why, and I've told my two Republicans why, but I haven't spoken to the rest of y'all. So I wanted to make sure that I got that information out there. It was in the paper that the facility needs to be moved somewhere else or either renovated, relocated, kind of a thing. Someone sent me the letter that you guys sent to the Board of Commissioners about that, and I've shared that around with our party. And you know, we want to see what it is was described in that letter, so we can know whether or not, to advocate for that, and help that situation. And also, I believe personally in election integrity. And I think that having my executive committee, who's very involved, toward the facilities would help that election integrity, so that we can get the word out that the staff here is doing, a good job, or, saying that we've seen how things are operated. And I just think it's a good idea. And also, personally, this is not from the party, this is from me. It's a county building. I'm a county taxpayer. So, while I'm not asking personally to see things that the law restricts me from seeing, because I will always follow the law, always. I'm just saying, hey, I'm a county taxpayer. I have a county commissioner, and I like to interact with my government. And so it's a county facility, and I like to educate myself. So that's really all it is. It's nothing nefarious or anything like that. And in fact, other counties do the same thing. They open the doors. They create that level of transparency for the public. And I think it's a great idea for the public to see how transparent Emma and Troy in their office are, and to get behind that. So that's what that's about. When it comes to the one-stop plan, I did hear at the previous meeting over One Stop where I made the recommendation for the Knobs Creek Recreational Park facility for Knobs Creek, for One Stop facility. I did hear that perhaps Knobs Creek was not air conditioned. My daughter participated in cheerleading camp there last year, and that is a polling precinct in our elections, and so I found out it is air conditioned. It's heated, it's cooled, so it's an adequate facility for the public. That's all.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak? Okay. All right, moving on to the one-stop plan for November runoff. I have a question before we start.
Sure.
Do we always do a one-stop plan for runoff?
So we've never, since I've been here, we haven't had a standalone municipal election. So I'm not really sure. All I know is that they contacted me on Friday, and said that in an abundance of caution for the timeline, because One Stop for the runoff would start 2 days after canvass. So in an abundance of caution for getting a One Stop plan approved in the timeline, like the state board having to meet to approve a plan, they wanted us to go ahead and have one submitted.
So you got information from the state board?
Yeah, I gave y'all the email
Okay.
that they sent me. It was me and Elaine, because we run the city election together. Elaine's the director in Camden, and she hosts the election for the people on the Causeway. So both of us got the email that our board needed to meet to vote on a one-stop plan for November, just to go ahead.
Would
get
this
it in.
be done when we go to the state board on Sunday afternoon?
If it's non-unanimous, then yeah, we
Okay,
would.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it's
it
not
would be
unanimous.
discussed then as well. Yep. Which is why they wanted us to go ahead and get it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They gave us till Wednesday. I wanted to go ahead and meet so that we can get it done.
I will
I
say
have
I've
a
served
question.
on this board almost 25 years and we've never done this that I remember.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
maybe it was just because it was not a standalone election.
I don't know. The only municipal that I've been director of was last year, and that was with the primary, which would have given you 7 weeks until One Stop started again. So I guess that's why they didn't make us do it last year. I'm not really sure.
I have a question too. On that email, was there someone else on that email? I kind of browsed it. You said you got it from someone.
Yeah, it was from Parker Holland, who's the election administration coordinator at the state board. He sent it to me and the director in Camden because we run the City of Elizabeth City municipal election together.
And nobody else was on there because I thought I saw another name, but I
No, I don't think so. I mean, y'all have the email.
I thought I saw somebody in Virginia or something up
I
there.
thought I saw somebody.
Oh,
name.
Virginia McCurry. That's our SST.
Oh, okay.
Who?
Yeah.
Somebody that came here.
She came to
Oh,
our
okay.
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. She's our district's SST. She probably was copied on the email as well.
Okay.
For purposes of discussion about it, are we ready to do that?
I guess if nobody has any other questions.
From what I understand, the turnout for a runoff municipal is extremely low. Whenever there might have been one, whatever years back, that's what Emma was sharing with me earlier, that it is so low, they could probably do it in the lobby, she said. And so with that being said, I think,
What?
my thoughts are, we should just stick to the days that are set forth in the statute, the 12 days of Monday through Friday and the one required Saturday, 8 to 3.
Well, we will, you said you had a conversation with Emma, but we would like to have the information as well from Emma.
I mean, I don't have any hard numbers. We were just kind of talking before the
But
meeting.
I mean, she's making a statement based on what you said.
No, I
So-
understand.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
so-
I don't have any hard numbers to give you because I haven't looked.
Okay.
We haven't had a runoff municipal election in a long time, I don't think.
Since you've been here, you haven't had one.
No, and I don't think we had
So
one
how
for
could
years.
how could you make a statement that it could have been done in the lobby if one has not been done?
Based off what I've heard about past runoff elections, like I said, I don't have any of the hard numbers. It was like when we did the, we've had it in the lobby before for some reason. When Kelly was still here. I mean, it's not up to me to decide where One Stop
Right.
takes place.
Well,
Um,
we do understand that, but I mean, I just,
And the runoff itself, it wouldn't be for the
The
whole
whole
election.
city.
It would be for like a ward. So
Right.
it may only be a couple of hundred people or 3 or 4, maybe 1,000 people affected. So, and to say 100% of them are going to show up, I mean, that's never going to happen. I mean, even in any kind of election, we never get
Well-
100%.
but they're still voters.
What is
Absolutely.
the rule for the mayor? That's the only one I would think you would have a lot of people come out. What is the rule?
It's
The one in
simple
that election.
plurality.
Just whoever gets the most votes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like 50% plus one. If nobody gets 50%, then it's whoever has the highest number of votes.
Well, that's with this election as well, 50% plus one.
Yeah.
Right.
Not for the wards because it's vote for 2.
But I'm talking about for the mayor.
Mayor, yes, ma'am.
Right.
So, the 2 plans that we submitted for the October municipal, it was Monday through Friday, 8 to 7:30. The majority plan had 2 Saturdays and a Sunday, and the minority plan had 3 Saturdays. The majority plan equated to 160.5 hours. The minority plan equated to 168 hours. There is also a third option of the statutory minimum, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, with the last Saturday, 8 to 3.
How many hours is that?
9.
Is that it?
That's either the majority or the minority plan. That's what I submitted to the state board for us for the October election. Hold on, I gotta do some math.
I didn't see the numbers on that.
12 days. 13 days. 13 days.
So the requirement thing would end at 5 o'clock. Our other plans ended at 7:30.
Emma, you went over those hours again. I know we have it right here in front of us, not added up.
Mhm.
Would you give me that again?
Yeah, the majority plan was 160.5 and the minority plan is 168.
166,
168.
168.
So what would be what's just required by law?
9 times 12, 108 plus 7, 115. I think 115.
By law is what?
7 hours on Saturday.
Michelle, what was your question again?
She's
And-
figuring out how many hours there would be if it was just by what's required by law.
115.
Because that stops at 5 o'clock instead of 7:30.
To be how many?
115.
So the one you're presenting for the runoff is 115?
I'm not presenting anything.
No, I'm just saying that,
The third option
The
would be
third
115.
option,
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Unless y'all wanted to go some completely different direction. If y'all wanted to present a new plan, then we could do that as well. Take away Saturdays, add days, however y'all wanted to do it.
And with a third option, you said with 115 hours?
Yes, ma'am.
So what would it look like based on what you have here for the majority and the minority plan?
It would be Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And then the required Saturday, 8 to 3, the last Saturday.
Plus Thursday and Friday of that first week.
Yeah, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Yeah. Yeah, but it would be 8 to 5 those first 2 days. But once again, those are just the 3 baseline options based off what we already sent to the state board for the October election and then the statutory minimum. You could do an iteration of any of those if you wanted to.
So have we ever did just a statutory minimum?
That's what we used to do always
for the runoff.
for any election.
But I'm
it-
saying, but now it's changed and we'd have more hours.
The precedent recently has changed,
Okay.
yes. Since the general 2020.
Okay.
Okay. Any more discussion about,
I have a problem stopping at 5 o'clock.
Monday through Friday and then the mandatory Saturday? That's just for the runoff. Anyone else?
I just still think that even though you're saying minimum hours, and I'm looking at still opportunity for anybody voting whenever, we're saying that we are in place to make sure that everybody gets every opportunity to vote. So I'm still saying that we need to leave that Sunday in there, that every day through the week, they should have an opportunity to vote if that's their choice.
So you're saying you want to add the Sunday but no Saturdays?
Well,
That's
the
not in the
majority
statute.
plan, well, that's the statute, but we're looking at the other plans. That's an option, but we have other options as well.
But you
And I'm
said
looking
just
at the
Sunday.
majority. I'm looking at the one that says majority plan, which has a Sunday in there and it has Saturdays as well.
Okay.
How many Saturdays are in the majority plan?
2. The first one and the third one.
Has everyone read the history and Governor Cooper's comments regarding the runoff and its relationship to why he took the position he did based on COVID? If you haven't, in essence, what it amounts to is that COVID was the prime mover on utilizing the Sunday, and that since then, in a runoff like this, it's not used. Per your governor.
If you have that, I would love to have it shared with all of us, that you reading it, something I haven't seen yet. And maybe I haven't read it, whatever.
So if we stuck with our original plan, would we be able to leave off the first Saturday?
Yeah.
And just have the required Saturday, then you got one Saturday and one Sunday?
That's correct.
Say that again.
I said, if we stuck with our original plan, majority plan, could we take off the first Saturday and just have the required Saturday and one Sunday?
For the runoff.
Emma, is it possible to give us the breakdown and the difference in how much it would cost?
For the,
Between the statute and let's just go for the majority plan since it's the most coverage.
yeah, if y'all want to recess, I can get that. I just don't have that with me right now.
Motion to recess for 5 minutes.
I would do 10. Just give me a little bit of time.
Say what?
10
10.
minutes?
10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. May I have a motion to recess for 10 minutes?
I make a motion to recess for 10.
Second?
Been properly moved and second that we recess for 10 minutes to secure some other information. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Motion carried.
That's the minimum time you can do.
The minimum, it's not statute.
Have to mandate from the state, but it has to be at least that. That's what the law says.
And if it's closed at 5 o'clock, those people that get off work at 5 o'clock don't have access to voting. And technically, we only have one early voting site. Which means by statute, we're supposed to have two. But since we only have one, it's closed at 5.
I can't hear you, sir.
If the polls closes at 5 o'clock, and if they open at 8 in the morning, if you work, you can't make it to the poll. So that only limits you to one day.
That's
which
why
is
they
Saturday.
give the Saturday.
Yes.
You're working Monday through Friday, and you're off on Saturday. That's why they give that.
The
That's
minimum,
what the state-
the minimum is closing at 5 o'clock. That's the minimum. That's the minimum.
We're not discussing there.
The minimum.
Right, yeah. that's just-
So it can stay open later.
Yeah, it's up to them. Whatever they-
I'm only raising
Sorry.
Well, I just don't want to be blaming something when somebody else is doing it.
No, that's not easy. Oh, okay.
I mean, you're in recess. There's nothing.
That's actually the mandate from the state for all one stop, not just runoff, but all one stop.
Right.
This is what you have to at least meet
Right.
with.
What we're saying is the minimum. We're saying the same thing. It's the minimum. What I'm asking is if it's in one of the proposals and you close at 5, then people that work cannot make it at 5 o'clock.
They can send in a mail-in ballot. There's also that absentee. One stop is an absentee, it's one version of absentee. You have mail-in, you have in-person.
We know there are many folks, but the bottom line is,
So it's not like voters don't have a chance.
what about if you work on Saturday?
They can mail it in.
Well, you could, right? You should have, would, could. However, accessibility is everything.
It's online, where you can request your mail-in absentee ballot, and it's accessible. You can come into the office, or you can get it online. The accessibility is there. That's all from the state. I'm just arguing the state here. I'm defending the state. The state has set it up so that it is accessible to all voters. And I would say that if you feel like the state is not acceptable, then you should not back it
I
up.
think you're missing Tyler substance. The substance here is the fact that if you open from 8 to 5, the average person goes to work from 8 to 5. Yes, we know you can mail in ballots. Yes, we know you can make it on Saturday. But you're saying that you have one day that's accessible on the Saturday.
No, they're all accessible.
Not if you work 8 to 5, not if you live in Virginia.
If you live in Virginia, you shouldn't be voting.
I mean, work in Virginia. If you live in Weeksville, if you live at the top of Newland, that's an hour round trip. Okay. So the thing is to create accessibility. And during the weekdays, if you have it ending at 5 o'clock versus
Yeah.
7 o'clock, that's ability. So I can get off work and come and go. If I work at Elizabeth City State University, my work day doesn't end till 5 o'clock. So there's no way I can leave there at 5.
I mean, you could argue the same thing about paying for water bill downtown. The accessibility, when the city closes, they close at 5 o'clock. So,
We're not
but
talking
they're
about-
not even open on the weekends, but you can mail in your water bill, you can pay it online.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking
But I'm
about-
just, I'm arguing the, I'm talking to you about the accessibility, where you're saying
Well-
it's not accessible, I'm going, well, there's a lot of things that are set up that way. That are set up that it closes at 5 o'clock. And that's why the state offers, that's why they mandate, there has to be that one Saturday. They mandate that there has to be one
But
Saturday.
that doesn't mean that we, as the county, have to give the basic minimum.
The county.
We don't have to
do what the
give
county
basic
board
minimum.
decides.
We don't have to give the minimum. It's just like even with photo ID. Okay, they've made it accessible to everyone by having the ability to have it down here and not go to, because you can go to the DMV and get the ID card. However, they made it even more accessible. They passed the law. It's gonna be photo ID. So guess what? We're gonna put an ID card machine at the election, which gives people more accessibility.
I'm just saying, that's the state, if you wanna argue accessibility from the state point of view,
No, I'm talking about
then
county.
you have to go to the state.
No, I'm talking about county.
They had nothing to do with them, if you want the mandate.
So they were- So he said, just do the minimum.
I'm saying whatever they do is what we're doing.
Hey, Jackie,
That's what I'm saying. But you're saying you don't want this in minimum.
Correct.
I'm just.
I mean, we don't do it during the regular election.
You wasn't in the regular, I mean, for years, until the general 2020 election, every single election conducted in Pasco County was in minimum. Every single one.
It's always been the minimum.
And so if you're gonna say that it's not accessible, then you're saying that everything in the past was.
But then we need to start advocating for more early voting sites.
hey, Jackie, do we need to be, unanimous on this one, thing also? If not, would that be addressed at the same time Sunday?
They had a t-shirt from a long time ago. The seniors had a day out at the mall, we used to have a mall, got a good t-shirt, the Senior County Public Transit Authority. Got a bunch of holes in it.
Okay.
I mean, in terms of, law. Yeah, we were able to promote and everything. That was definitely the bathroom block.
The bathroom is locked.
I walk all day.
Michelle, cherries.
Do you know my son lives in the cherry capital of the world, near Traverse City, Michigan?
Oh,
Thousands and thousands of cherry trees.
beautiful.
And I saw
Hey,
amazing.
Mm,
I'm gonna make pawpaw butter this year. Yeah. Okay.
For the October.
Yeah, yeah, these are what I submitted to the state board based off what y'all voted on for the October municipal. Yeah. Somebody had just asked for these sheets, so I gave us all of them. And you could also use them for basis to discuss for the November.
So this is the one for.
Yeah, those sheets are for October. That's what I submitted to the state board for October.
So we don't have a plan in writing for the runoff.
No, we will once y'all decide on a plan, but.
Okay. Motion to come out of recess.
Can everybody turn their mics back on, please?
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we come out of recess at 9:29.
28, yeah.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, so I was asked to go get the cost breakdown. So at the number of workers that I have set for the October municipal, which is 7 per shift.
7 what?
7 per shift.
Okay.
So we would have 2 shifts, shifts, 7:45 to 1:45, 1:45 to 7:45. 7 workers per shift. That cost would be $882 a day. $882 a day. If you did 8 to 5 at the same number of workers, would be $661.50 a day.
If you did 5.
8 to 5. If the hours were 8 to 5, 7 workers per shift, it would be $661.50 a day.
What was the other time from 7:45?
It would be the shift, the one-stop hours would be 8 to 7:30. That cost would be $882 a day. At the 8 to 5, the statutory minimum, it would be $661.50 a day.
Read that to me again. 'cause
And
I'm
this
not
accounts
getting
for the 8 to 3 Saturday?
Well, it's just average per day. It would be less for the 8 to 3 Saturday. That's only one shift. It would be $441 for the 8 to 7:30. And it would be $441 for the 8 to 5 as well, because it's the same number of hours. Well, actually a little bit more. Hold on, math.
Would it be possible for y'all just to give us the cost of the majority plan, the cost of minority plan, and the total cost of the statute dictated plan?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Thanks.
So if my math is correct, which I haven't double checked, but I believe that I'm correct. Cost of personnel for an 8 to 7:30 plan, Monday through Friday, plus the 2 Saturdays and the Sunday would be approximately $12,000. To do the 8 to 5 Monday through Friday plus the last Saturday, the statutory minimum would be $7,570 approximately.
7,000 what?
570. Once again, this is just quick math. I haven't, but that's about.
That's the last one for the bare minimum plan.
Right.
And this is the majority plan was the 12,000.
Yes.
And that's with the addition of that one Sunday.
2 Saturdays and a Sunday. Yes, ma'am.
Since you got the figures in front of you and we're on that mode, can you just tell us what the minority plan total cost would be? Just since we're kind of there right now.
It would be more because it has more hours, but. It would be a little less than 13,000. It's like 12,800.
Thank you.
12,000 what?
800.
And the other one would just be that 7 hours less or something?
Yeah,
Which was what? What do you think?
like the cost total. It's about 12,200. It's about a $600 difference between the two.
Okay, now which one is the 12,200?
The majority plan.
Okay, I thought you said just 12,000.
It's approximately 12,000. 12,200 approximately.
And possibly 13,000 for the other one.
Well, 12,800. Yeah. And the statutory minimum would be approximately 7,500.
So how much is it for one day? Like if we took out one of the Saturdays and kept a Sunday, one day is approximately how much?
For the majority plan, one day is approximately, if we do the 8 to 7:30, this is just the 8
Yeah.
to 7:30. One day for the majority plan was $882 approximately. One day for the minority plan would also be $882. It's just those minute differences for the Saturday versus the Sunday.
If we have to add a one stop for runoff, is that already in our budget or is that going to have to go to the commission?
That would have to go to the commissioners. Yep, runoff elections are not included in our traditional budget. We have to do budget amendments.
In this case, though, it's totally reimbursed by the city.
Yes.
Yes. The county doesn't pay for it.
Well, the county pays for it up front.
Right.
City
but not-
reimburses.
yeah,
Yes.
They get reimbursed.
Yeah.
So it's reimbursable by the city. The county approves it. Does the city have any say-so about the approval?
I mean, it's up to the board to decide the one-stop plan.
No, I'm saying, does the city have, you said the city pays for it,
Mhm.
the county approves it. So does the city have any say-so? Like, for instance, the county could say no or yay. Does the city have any say-so at all
In what?
on the budgeted amount?
I mean,
Because you said you had to send it to the county, right?
I would have to go to the county and say, hey, we have to have a runoff election. I need more money to pay for this. Yes.
And I guess they would converse with the city, okay.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know how that process works entirely. I just know that we get reimbursed. Traditionally, we tally every expense for an election. We put a bill together and I send it to finance. And that includes personnel costs for poll workers, one-stop workers, and the board. supplies, ballots, rent for polling places, everything that's associated with the cost of an election would get billed to the city. But it's very specific, like we used 4,792 pieces of paper or whatever. Because for stuff that we order, like absentee envelopes and authorization to vote forms, all of that stuff, whatever doesn't get used for this election could be used in the next election. So we would only charge them for what was used in this election, if that makes sense. Because we'll use the rest of it for a county election later
And we do have one coming, right?
in March. Yeah.
In March.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. If we use the minority plan for the runoff,
The 168 hours or the statutory minimum?
the 168 hours.
Okay.
I'm confused now. Which one are you talking about? Just the runoff?
Right, the runoff.
Okay. If we use what now?
The minority plan, as they have now for the minority plan for the runoff. And so that we can make sure we have more accessibility for people to vote versus the majority plan for the,
Minority plan has less opportunity for people to vote because it closes at 5 o'clock every day.
I know, but the bare minimum is just 8 to 5.
Right.
The
So-
minority plan doesn't close at 5 every day. You're talking about the statute plan. She's talking about the minority plan that we presented for
The October election.
October.
Right.
The
That's
8
the
to
only minority
7:30.
plan we have right now.
Okay.
So
So-
if, I'm
That's
just,
why I was asking which one you were talking
I
about.
was talking about the minority plan. If we use
The original minority plan. Okay.
for the runoff.
So 3 Saturdays, no Sunday. That's what you're talking about for the
That's what
minority
I
plan.
mean, I just asked a question. I don't.
I just want to make sure we're all clear about what exactly we're talking about.
I know it's more money, you know, because how many days you still have to have the same amount of days for a runoff?
Yeah, the one-stop requirements are still the same. Yes.
Oh,
Like I said, the statutory minimum is 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So it would start the Thursday after we canvass, run through the Saturday prior to election day, which would be November 4th, I think is that last day.
So if I understand correctly, let's just say we had a runoff on third ward, second, whatever precinct you want to say. At that time, only those in that would be able
To vote,
to
correct.
vote since it's the runoff. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes, ma'am. And only those precincts would be open on election
And only
day.
those precincts would be, okay.
on election day, but for the one stop, we will still have to run it like we did. For
Yeah. But only those eligible voters in that ward would be able to vote.
So it wouldn't be like one stop for the regular. It would be only those eligible voters, not everybody in the city would be able to vote unless
Right.
it was mayor or.
Right.
You know,
Well, if it was mayor.
I'm just talking about if it was a specific ward.
Right. Only those who live in that ward would be eligible to vote. If we ever, there's 4 contestants running for the third ward, 4 running for the fourth ward. So let's say we had a runoff in the third ward.
Yeah, three for the mayor, right?
3 for the mayor, 2 for first, 3 for second, 4 for third, 4 for fourth. So let's say we had a runoff in the third ward. Only voters who live in the third ward would be eligible to vote during that runoff period.
Right. I got that.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Do you know the highest population in any of either of those wards? Highest possible number of voters in either of those wards?
Oh shoot, I literally just did the ballot ordering the other day. I want to say there's not a ward with more than 2,800 voters in it. Don't quote me on that though.
no, you're talking within the city limits.
Yes,
Yeah.
the wards, because she was asking about the wards. Yeah. Maybe 3,000. Somewhere around there.
And which
And our average voting percentage is around 10%.
Hmm.
For runoff.
No,
For municipals in
for
general.
municipal election.
But it's hard to base one election off of another. I
Certainly.
mean, you never know what will make people turn out.
Is the state still requiring fewer ballots?
Yes. Well, the minimum requirement is 50% of each voting precinct. So that's what I have put an order in for, was a little bit over 50% because you have to account for absentees and stuff like that.
And all this is just an assumption in case it is a runoff. It's
Right.
not- It's not necessarily gonna happen.
No, they just want a plan in place since there's only a 2-day turnaround.
And I have a question too. So if it is a runoff and we're talking about the numbers and it's less than or whatever, so that would be even with the runoff, that's less staff you use. For instance, if you're using just one ward, you're using less staff members
Correct.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just based off the plans that we have in play currently. And if we kept the same amount of staff, I would probably lower it down.
Will it be less?
It would be less. We have 7 positions per shift now. It's, well, this is just what I'm thinking of. I mean, I haven't made the schedule yet. We're still waiting for interest letters to come back in for one stop, but 2 check-in, a ballot station, a ballot box, a help station, and 2 curbside. That's kind of what we're working with right now.
Two curbside? Why?
I have anxiety about curbside ever since that first day of curbside voting from the presidential general. I always like to keep it a little bit more staffed because you never know. I mean, we had like 200, 250 curbside voters that day, and we had 4 curbside workers that were run ragged all day. So I like to have, I mean, I know we probably only need 1, but I would feel more comfortable having 2.
Emma, can you just go through that breakdown that you're having? I know it's not carved in stone, but what you're thinking again about how the workers would be distributed?
Yeah.
You need
2 check-in, a ballot station, a ballot box, a help station, and 2 curbside. And depending on how busy it is, if it gets really busy, then we would add more people on. Like I would probably put another check-in in there or throw another help station, depending on the amount of provisionals that we see coming in or same-day registrants. But that's what I'm thinking baseline to start with. Because like for the primary last year, we had 3 check-in, 2 ballot station. Rarely did we have a line at all with that. But for like the 2020 general, we had 6 check-ins. So, I mean, I don't think that that's necessary for this election, but we're flexible to move around how many poll workers that we use per shift. But right now, that's what we're thinking.
But now we need to come up with a plan for the runoff. So where are we? Board members.
Are you ready for a motion?
A motion or have y'all exhausted everything, the possibilities? I mean,
I am still with the given and with the less staff that you have, even though we're saying it's more monies and whatever, the majority plan still gives the opportunity for everybody to vote. And I'm still saying that we should do that as a board members.
My inclination is to go with what I said originally and just go within the statutory requirement because of the likelihood of how small the vote will be.
If y'all give me 1 second, I can look back at the results to see when the last runoff was, to see what that turnout
Thank
was. If
you.
y'all want that number, give me 1 second. Now that I have my phone here.
While she's looking, I'll just say I still can't go with 5 o'clock. I think it's a matter of accessibility. No matter how many people it is, people have a right to come out and vote. And we have a lot of people that work in Virginia. They may get off at 4 o'clock, but they may not be here at 5 o'clock for sure.
When was that special election to replace the candidate who was a college student? Was that 2013? I think that was the last time we had a. I'm looking though. Give me 1 second. So the last runoff I can see was 2011. Yeah, with Stallings and Brooks, and the turnout was like 380.
What ward was that in?
Third ward.
And the voter registration then in that ward?
It doesn't tell me.
And what was the plan then, Emma? Was it the 8 to 5?
I have no idea. I'd have to go back and look at the minutes. It doesn't tell me. I'm just on the
Okay,
state
would
board's
be interested
website.
to know what that plan was.
If y'all want to recess again, I can go look.
Well, didn't we establish it that it's always been per statute prior to 2020?
Yeah,
So-
the statutory minimum has changed over the years. At one point, it was like you had to vote for 7 days. It was 7 to 7, 12 days or something, and then
Right.
but
Okay, so it depended on what it was back then,
Right.
probably. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. Are you still looking for some information, Emma?
No, I was trying to find the. I don't know when that election was.
No. I mean,
So the last runoff I can see was 2011.
okay.
Thanks.
All right, so if we entertain a motion to vote, will we have 3 that we will vote for? The state minimum, the majority, and the minority, or what? I'm just asking before we start.
Unless anybody else has another plan they want to put forth. I mean, I think those were the 3 y'all were discussing,
Right,
but if somebody else has a different one,
so will we vote for them individually?
that's up to y'all.
I'm asking board, I mean, I'm just,
Well, let's just start somewhere. That sounds like a good place to start.
and, vote individually.
Let's ask all in favor who's for whichever votes,
Right.
whichever plan.
Or if y'all want to
Yeah.
put a
Who's in favor
motion
for the
forward
first, second,
for a
third
plan
plan?
and see how the vote
I think we
goes.
need a motion for a plan like we did originally.
What?
Do a motion for the plan. Whoever wants to make a motion for the plan they want.
Well, I make a motion that are you ready for me?
Yes, we are ready to, have a motion on the November runoff plan.
I move for the November runoff plan that we present the majority plan, which includes the Sunday voting.
Second the motion.
Been probably moved in second that we use the majority plan for the November runoff. It's been probably moved in second. All in favor, let it be known by saying, but let it be known by raising your hand. All right. Okay. All opposed? Okay. Majority 3-2, 3 in favor, 2 against. So we don't have a unanimous vote.
Correct.
We need to open for another motion.
Do I have a motion to have may I have a motion for another plan?
I move we go with the statutory requirements.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we go with the statutory requirement plan for the November election. All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. All opposed? We do not have a majority vote.
Right. So what we did last time was vote to send both plans to the state board.
Okay, may I have a motion to send both plans to the state?
So moved.
Seconded.
Been properly moved and second that we submit both the majority and the statutory requirement plan to the state. All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand. Okay, motion carried.
And from what I heard, they're going to do both on Sunday. They'll consider both plans on Sunday.
Okay.
Like the October plan and the November plan.
And they'll give you 5 minutes for each.
I don't know how much time, but that's what they've done in the past. Yeah.
All right, we're moving to open house / tour.
Yeah. So, as we heard during public comment, a request was put in to tour our facility. I talked to just informally to other directors about things that they've done. The word open house came up a lot, which is why it says open house / tour. I'm not entirely sure what that entails. I would have to get further detail from them. I also talked to the state board, and there are certain areas that they do not recommend be included in an open house / tour due to security issues, chain of custody, things like that.
Are you talking about locked rooms?
Locked rooms, yeah. So if you wanted, I could look at our calendar. We could set a date for an open house type thing, invite all of our community partners to come and see what they're allowed to see. Once again, I would have to talk to other directors to see exactly what that would look like. And then talk to y'all, put a plan together. I can have all that information together by our next meeting. And
Just
then,
depending on how many you think you might have, keep in mind you want the group to be very manageable.
right.
So it may entail more than one date and time if it seemed like it was going to be more interest than
Yeah.
you might anticipate.
We would set like a sign up, like, hey, if you're interested, sign up for this, just so we know what to expect, whether the one date would be sufficient or if we need more. But I can have all that information together by our next meeting, and I can have dates and
That's if we're gonna do it.
right, if y'all want to do it.
Right. Okay, because I think we need to have some discussion on it.
Yeah.
I just,
Based on what we got, the letter that came from the information that came back from the state.
Right, about what is off limits.
Right.
Right.
I just wanted to say my original reaction was against one group coming and doing a tour, because you open up for one group to do their individual tour, then they could end up with 50 tours. that my idea is if you're gonna have open house, it needs to be for everybody, like Emma said. 'Cause that's gonna make a lot of work if every group expects to have a separate tour.
I agree. I agree. And there, if it's going to be, which I'm not sure what you see, but if it's going to be an open house, and if this is something you're planning to do, set it once a year and it's an open house so that you don't, in your planning of what y'all have to do,
It's already
you're not
set.
always stopping to do an open house for someone.
Right.
That's an excellent idea, I think. And I think that even adds to the integrity piece of it, that you're having that transparency here for all that choose to partake.
Right.
Mr. Cook?
I would suggest that we have a limit on the number of personnel invited in during any one particular tour.
Mhm.
Right.
So in other words, if we have 3 dates set with a maximum of 20 people per date and see how it fills up, such that we don't get overwhelmed and have too many at any one point.
I just think the staff should be able to set whatever they determine is the manageable number. It's tight quarters back there.
Mhm.
And you just need to be comfortable with what you're able to take control of, and ensure that everything's done in accordance with what's required of you.
Yeah, the tour would probably include like the middle area and here if we were to do like a walk around tour, just because of the requirements for security and chain of custody. Really nothing on our side of the office is open. It's all secured. So
Don't we have 2 exits, 2 long hallways, one here out of the back side of the building?
yeah,
Okay, so we need to get there too,
Okay,
Is there,
I
to
got,
visually see what our escape plan could be.
oh well we're
About that.
yeah, this is something different.
yes. not-
What?
it's not-
This is like showing our office to community partners and stuff. This has nothing to do
I
with
thought it was prompted from the expansion.
no.
well, that was part of what
Yes, it
somebody
was.
said.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't. It was more of what we talked about earlier. It wasn't like our security plan or anything.
And we don't share our security
No,
plan
we
or else
don't
it's not
secure.
secure.
But my concern is, I'm reading this information here about from the state.
Hmm.
When we were put on the board, the 5 of us were put on the board. And since I've been on the board, everything has been so that once you get things set up, we are allowed to go in to view everything.
Right.
So they keep talking about accountability and being transparent. What would just tell me what would they see if they were to go in there right now? What would they see?
They would see desks and computers, and
Your desk and your computer
and locked doors. Yeah.
and locked doors, and they would not be allowed to go beyond
The
those
lock-
that point. Am I correct?
Right.
I would think not.
Right. Based off that email. Yes.
Based off this email
Yes.
and based off the who's accountable for making sure the security and the election credibility is adhered to.
Right.
It says the chair of
The
the board.
chair.
Yeah, the
The
chair.
chair.
Exactly right. And as the chair, and I'm just, we have, I know we are embarking on new territory and new things, but when you put us on the board, you trust that we are making the best decisions for the county and for our voters. So I don't think it's anyone on this board that's not credible. And you all are, it's like everybody's in agreement for a tour to see just, the director's office,
So the way the email is written is like any computer with seams on it, any voted ballot, anything that's supposed to be kept under chain of custody should not be seen based off this email.
right?
So you couldn't see our offices.
All your
Okay, so
offices
can
have
you see
seams.
your office?
Right.
So,
You could see the lobby, you could see the middle section, like where we store all of our non-essential equipment, and obviously the boardroom.
And my thing is, if the persons who are requesting the tour, if that's what they want to come and see, let them see it. I mean, it's nothing to hide, and
no,
if
we
that's
don't
what they
have
want to
anything
come
to
and see,
hide, but
let them see it.
I just want to know what they're gonna see.
The
I mean,
lobby,
you as board members see more than what they would see.
but that, we know that. But let them see that so that they can see that this is all that they can see. Maybe they're thinking there's more to be seen, but I don't see where that is.
But I don't know exactly what the tour/open house would look like, which is why I can talk to other directors, see what they've done in the past for open houses.
But
Because I
you
know,
got to go based on what this letter
I know,
said.
but they have like they'll set up in their lobby like stations to view certain things, like from what I've heard. Now I don't have anything concrete from anybody, which is why I can't speak much on it.
Well, what counties have you heard from this though? You know, an open house and a tour.
I don't have county names. I don't remember. I just shot out like a blast email to the state. They're like, I've done open houses. You need to talk to the state board. I've never done anything like that before. Those are the kind of responses that I've gotten back. So for the counties that have done the open houses, I haven't done any follow-up emails with them yet. Because I know like Brunswick County does an open house every year. And I can talk to Sarah and see what she does. I know they set like tables up around their lobby and have different stations.
The stations to show what the process is like.
Sir, I don't know exactly, but like
Well, until we get that information, I mean,
that's why I'm saying I can have it together for the
right,
next
so
meeting.
I think we need to table this until we get further information.
I do too.
You ready for a motion?
What?
You ready for a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion that we table the further discussion of the open house/tour pending additional information from the director.
Second.
The properly moved and seconded that we table the open house tour pending further information from the director. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
But I'll get stuff together like what they did, potential dates, what our plan could be, that type of thing. I'll have all that for you for the next meeting.
Okay. All right. And the last thing on our agenda is statement from Ms. Herter about tonight's meeting.
I just wanted to share that I had information from one of the commissioners that the agenda items concerning the Board of Elections renovation is on the agenda for tonight, but not for discussion, only to refer it to the board retreat, since there is not any current funding to complete the project this fiscal year, and the commissioners' retreat occurs in February. So I just wanted to give everyone that information to have to make your decision whether you want to attend this afternoon or not. It's just a sharing of the information I got. You can accept it, not accept it, or it's not push and go or not go. Just wanted to share.
So is that from the whole commission or just from one commissioner?
One commissioner.
And Emma, but we were invited, the director was invited to be to this meeting this afternoon.
Well, my name is on the agenda with the letter, so I have to be there
Okay,
regardless.
right.
And then I passed it along to y'all if y'all wanted to be there as well. It's been noticed as an informational meeting, so if y'all want to attend, you can. There's no limits on how many can attend the meeting tonight because we
Normally when-
noticed it.
Normally when you go, the chairman always accompany you there.
Yeah.
So I still plan to attend.
And that's at 4:00?
4:00,
Courthouse?
courthouse, courtroom C,
See,
the one at the back of the building.
right.
Whatever courtroom that is.
Okay, thank you for that information, Ms. Herr.
You're welcome.
All right. Is there anything else before us this afternoon?
I don't know if I should ask this now or afterwards. Information about the conference. Do we have that?
I'm
Will
going to
be
send it
in
out in an
September?
email this week. Yeah.
What'd you say?
The information about the conference. She said she would send out the information this week. I didn't know if I missed it last week.
No,
I was
the
sick.
agenda, I didn't want to send it too early and it get lost in emails. I'm going to send it this week. The conference agenda, our hotel, all of that fun stuff.
Please send it as an attachment. I can. You all with this new drop stuff?
It was just the easiest way to compile all the documents for the meeting.
Can they be
Because of-
scanned and sent with the agenda in the future?
I mean,
instead
they
of that-
can, I can
that
attach
way?
them to the email. It just, if we like, so like the meeting on the 18th that we had where we had like tons and tons of attachments, I would have to send multiple emails because of the size of the documents, which is why I put them in the Dropbox so that I could send all of them together. But I could definitely do that in the future if y'all don't want me to use Dropbox.
I mean,
I'm fine with Dropbox, but I think it should be something that it should be disseminated in a way that everybody can easily access it.
So not Dropbox.
The attachments has been working for me. So.
The attachments have been working for you.
Yes,
Okay.
because I mean, with the Dropbox, I had to go in and load something up on my computer or on my cell phone and all of that.
But the issue with the attachments is we weren't getting the attachments until we sit down at our seats when we walk in the morning.
Right.
And this is a mechanism for us to have all the information we're going to discuss
Yeah, that's
available to us prior to the meeting, instead of coming in hurriedly reviewing something. For me personally, I'm new, you know that I got to read it and read it and read it again. And I just don't think that's the best way to do informed meetings.
no, all the documents would still go out. They would just be attachments. Is that what
Right,
you're saying?
thank you.
Attachments to the email as opposed to on Dropbox.
Thank
Okay.
you. I want to do some read it as well. But all right, thank you all so much. Motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion to adjourn at
11.
10:11. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.